No Facebook, no experience, no problem. How Kristie built a business anyway. Welcome to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast.
We're your host, David and Al Denning.
What happens when a millennial couple dives headfirst into the insurance world, scales $1 million remote business, and decides to share the journey with the world?
You get the Modern Insurance Agent.
Here, we reveal the messy, magical, and sometimes hilarious realities of building a business and a life you love.
From traveling the globe to building remote teams. Yes, even working remotely on top of a mountain in the Philippines. We're sharing insights, strategies, and plenty of laughs to help agents and entrepreneurs succeed.
Because, let's face it, success isn't just about hitting numbers.
It's about designing a life that works for you.
So let's dive in and build something extraordinary together. Welcome back to the Modern Insurance Agent Podcast. Today's guest is Kristie Hubbard, an Allstate agent who started this business while pregnant, has zero experience, no Facebook, and still built a personal brand that clients now feel like they know her before they ever even talk to her, right? And before we dive in, though, where you can get all the show notes, all the goodies, everything we've got put together for you, as well as how you can go find our guest, go to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast. We got it all put together for you so you can dive right on into that. So our guest, Kristie, is here to break down her 4-year journey, the shift to reels and relationship-based marketing, and how to turn authenticity into conversion. So let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Kristie.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. It's cool.
I'm glad it's cool. I'm going to try to be cool. I don't know. It's mostly L. Actually, I'm just here. But, someone's got to be, the uncool one to make the cool one look really cool, right? So, at least Elle tells me.
He's the best.
Tells me that. Elle tells me I have a use, right? So, but yeah, it's been a journey. It's been, we were just talking about how long it's been, and I know how long it's been because I know how old your daughter is now, and that's where it began, right? So,
Right.
So no, it's been incredible journey. I remember very first meeting you, and it's like, hey guys, I'll do whatever you guys tell me to. It's like, perfect, Kristie. This is fantastic. So yeah, it's the best place to start is the beginning, right? So how did you end up in insurance in the first place? Most people aren't like, I want to be an astronaut or an insurance agent when I grow up. So how did you end up in the game?
I was not either. I ended up in insurance, glory to God, because I didn't have this plan. I did not have this plan. But I was working at a telemarketing agency, actually selling on-hold advertisements. So I was in marketing, but it was not a great job. I mean, it was hard. And I was selling on-hold ads to insurance agents, and this guy just kept after me. And 6 months later, it hit COVID, and I had no job, and I didn't know what to do. And I called him back, and I took an appointment with him, and he put me into this program. Right after I had gotten my license. So I had been, working as an appointment setter for about 6 months, and I didn't know anything yet, but I got my license, and it was remote. There was no place to go learn. I couldn't go to Houston. I couldn't go to my office. Nobody could go to an office. So, I mean, as far as coworkers, you guys are it.
Well, and if I remember right, from that setup, like, they weren't really like, oh, you're not going to cross-sell our existing book, because they pretty much only did commercial, and they're like, we're going to have you do personal lines, even though we don't really focus on that right now. But we don't want you cross-sell the book, and we don't really focus on leads. We want you doing whatever they're teaching here in this program. And you're in a whole nother state, but they don't even want you selling in that state. They want you selling in Texas, where you know nobody, while you're over in Oklahoma. And so, yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, it'd be like, well, there's a lot of odds stacked against me from the very beginning on just making this really tough.
There were a lot of factors that I could have, chalked it up to, oh no, that's going to be too difficult. But when you're limited on options, sometimes you find out how resourceful you actually are.
Well, and we know you're resourceful, for sure. You've pushed past and blown past many obstacles and challenges, and always with a smile on your face, and always with your hair done, right? So, and I remember talking about that a lot at the beginning, and you're like, well, I have to make sure my hair's good. I was like, it doesn't matter on social. She's like, no, it's like so.
It does, and I'll tell you this because as a woman, and I'm vain, and I'll just say that. And I did hair for years. My mom was a beautician. Like I was a little John Benet Ramsey growing up. Like that's just what I do. It's part of me. And if I roll out of bed and throw my hair in a bun and sit in front of my computer, I can do my job. I can sell insurance. But the thing is, I learn things every day, and it's not fair for me to keep that knowledge to myself. And that's kind of how I've gotten the content that I've gotten, because when I learn something new, I want to share it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have on yesterday's mascara, I'm not going to get on the internet and show my face to the whole entire world. So that's a big part of my process. And, you know, people give me grief for it often. You know, it's 7:30 in the morning and they're like, oh, girl, you're way too dressed up. But this is me. And you have to be comfortable. However, you are comfortable. Do I need full hair and makeup every day to get online and make a post about insurance? Heck no. No, I don't. But it's my process. It works for me. And it makes me feel good. And that way, anytime I have something to share, I don't have to pause. I don't have to wait. It's that quick, that easy. Pick up my phone, say it, post it, be done.
It's like, yes,
it's Dove's phone.
I love it. Lilo and Stitch. Who doesn't love Lilo and Stitch, right? So, but no, I mean, it's like Harry from like Suits putting it on his suit, right? Like it's my uniform, my outfit, my suit of armor, my like I'm prepped to take on the world, you know, and it's authentically you, right? It'd be one thing if you're like hated doing any of that, but like, hey, I like that. I like, you know, and as a part of that. And I remember talking through that in the early days and you hopping on and you're happy. Like, I'll hop on video. I'll do it. Like I'm nervous about it. It might be new, but you did it and you took the action on it. And so tell me though, like first hopping in as an agent on the producer side and everything, or what were some of those early days like? You know, was it a lot of learning, a lot of challenges? What did it look like maybe the first few months you were in the business?
It felt like insecurity. It felt like I didn't know the product I was selling. I felt like I didn't know enough to be trusted with somebody's entire world. And that put a huge weight on me when I first started, because it did. I know that I protect everything somebody works hard for. You know, I know that. And that was a great responsibility. My family lost everything to an insurance policy when I was 16 years old. So I understand how all this goes. ACV versus replacement cost is a thing, y'all. It's an absolute thing. And so I have personal experience in that part of it. And I was just terrified to make a mistake. So I was really insecure. And the fact that I wasn't like in an office hearing the other girls, you know, and being able to copy and mimic and take lines like I had been able to in marketing before. You know, we all work as a room. It's a machine. But it was COVID. I was alone. There was nobody to help me. And there was nobody to see me. And that's where I really thrived in the program I did, because there were so many people. There were people reaching out to me that I'd never met before that were telling me I was doing a good job. And it's that community that stepped up. And there wasn't one moment of the day. I may not be able to reach my supervisor, but I promise you I can reach an agent, you know, because I know all of these people and I feel like they're rooting for me. I really did. You know, I had friends all of a sudden that were in the same group that I was in. So it really, really helped to be able to ask questions anywhere in the world, anytime I needed to.
Yeah. I mean, especially with COVID and then also just being remote also, that you were like, you know, it can be lonely. It can be like, you know, who am I around every day? I mean, a lot of us came up definitely prior to COVID, but then also even prior to the internet. And it's like, oh, you go in an office, you sit down, you see the same people every day, they steal your lunch, and you know, you got your training there. But in today's world, like it's tough. And that community, well, how do I find that community, colleagues, coaching, support? And, you know, and that's where you were able to plug in on that side. And I think we would probably both encourage agents to find that if they don't have, you know, people they can connect with each day or support them or chat with, you know, that's important. Because you know, I love my family, but they're not who I'm talking my business discussion plans. Well, I am, because I'm married to my business partner, but outside of that, right? And so And so it is like, it's so great to have that community and that help, right? And especially
Yeah.
in an industry that's honestly a really tough industry. I mean, it's not easy, and and no one's like, man, I can't wait to talk to my insurance agent and talk insurance, and I've been sitting here on my phone waiting for them to call so I can buy my insurance from. Like, it's not the industry that people are just like begging for people to come talk to them. But people do have problems. People do want people to trust and to help them and to guide them through that. And they like reach out to people that they feel that connection with, right? And so when you mentioned at the beginning, like you didn't have Facebook, and were pregnant with Dove back then as well, and and with that, did it feel like a really big learning curve? Did it feel, especially in regards to like social and stuff on that side and hopping in and doing that, or was it like, there's just something else to learn, and just like I learned my products or my script?
I would say both. I think I was absolutely terrified, just like everybody is. I mean, I was terrified to do social, to put my kids' face on the internet, to put myself out there, to be vulnerable for somebody else to critique me or comment. And then I was, terrified that I was going to say something that wasn't correct, that I was going to give bad advice, with like an imbecile, out here pretending like I know it all. And I know I don't know it all. I know I don't, but that didn't matter at the moment. I had a job to do. I had to reach people. And as terrifying as it was, I made a decision and I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I can do this. And, it wasn't that easy. Even with that, I still had coaches, pushing me, to strive for more, to be more authentic. And I guess I wouldn't say coaches like pushing me, more like empathizing with me. You know what I mean? Like, you knew I was nervous. Like, everybody knew I was scared, but everybody kept telling me it would be okay. And then it was okay. And then it was okay a little more. And then I realized that I could get on here. I didn't even have to talk about insurance. I could tell stupid dad jokes, or I could tell crazy claims. There's so many different things, that you can do to get circulation and to get people to see your face. And you don't have to give them the best insurance advice. They're not going to call you because of one tidbit that you put out there one time. They might, but most importantly, they see you come across their feed all the time and they're like, man, my insurance is high. And who do they think of? The person that's in their face giving them insurance advice every day, whether they like it or not. I'm in your feed, and this is what I do. And now you know that. And that was, I think, once I realized I didn't have to be perfect at it, that I could just be a real person, a real mom, a real beginner, at this career, then it felt so much more comfortable for me to realize that the authenticity of who I am would sell way faster than any insurance policy I could ever quote.
That's so true. And like, honestly, if we apply it to like in person, right? Like if I'm out and about and at different events or things, and I see a person and I see them at another thing, and then I see them at another event, like after how many times, especially if I've talked to that person or learned something about the person, do I feel like I really know this person? This person I see often enough. It's almost like even a friend that I see often of this, but on social, like they're seeing you often, like you're going to be in front of them. So it's almost like they're going to see you at all these events, but they get to see you every single day almost on social from that. And it's like, I feel like I know Kristie. I've never met Kristie, but she's always on my feed, and I feel like I know her. I feel like I know her family. I know what she does. I know, she's got the best dad jokes out there. Right. So, and it's impactful. It works a lot. And what would you say maybe this first 6 months, like, right, of starting on the agent side and also doing this on the social side, what would you say what surprised you the most about all of that?
I sold $40,000 in premium on my third or fourth month. That's what surprised me.
That surprised you? That was like, it's working. I'm doing well. I'm selling policies, right? So
to people I've never met, people I don't know, without, just it was magic for me. It really was. It was the air, it was the breath of life that my career, my confidence needed at that moment. And this was before reels were even a thing. Like, they weren't even out yet. So like our content was, I guess it was all people really had. So it really did work. And I remember, like, one of the aha moments for me was this guy named Oscar. Okay. And he was a business owner, and I was looking at his BOP, and mom and pop needed BOP. Always remember that. I was looking at that for him. And then I was looking at his house and everything. And I had quoted this guy, and I had been talking to him for probably 2 months, and I was following up, and I was doing the things that I should have done. And I was making sure that I connected my calls, and I was talking to him, and I was asking for the sale, and I was being assumptive, and it just wasn't working. He just kept saying, yes, I want to buy it. But call me next week, call me next week. Yes, I love this. This is wonderful. Call me next week. I'll tell you what, I recorded a video proposal on Vidyard, and I sent it to him. And the only thing I did was go over his coverages, which we had gone over 20 times before. But I did it with my own face. And he texted me right back with his credit card number. That was a really big aha moment for me. As soon as he really saw my face, saw who I was, and I was able to just, there's something about seeing somebody that puts trust and familiarity that you can't buy. We're all different. Everything about each one of us is so different, and a picture is worth 1,000 words. And it gave that person the confidence that he needed. I don't know if it was the cross on my necklace or the nice little office I had set up, or just the fact that I was real, and that he could finally see me, and he finally felt like he could, it could have been like, now she's going to start video chatting me, it could have been that. I don't know, but it worked.
Better go ahead and pay for this, or she's going to start calling me.
Yeah, she's going to start sending me videos now. But it worked. And that was definitely an aha moment in my first 6 months.
Love it. And doing the video proposal, coming across as that human in that decision. And I don't know if we initially realized the impact it has and how powerful that is. And I'm thinking back to even Elle and I when we bought our first home, and, it was the height of the real estate of, like, it goes on the market, has 5 offers by the evening, and it's under contract. And that was exactly the state. We were like, oh, it literally came on market today. Oh, we want it. Like, you're one of 5 people that submitted offers by this evening, and you're not the highest. And our real estate agent was like, oh, write a letter about you guys, and it's your first home, and you're a couple, and everything. We're like, okay, well, we'll do it. We'll put it out there ever. And they're like, ended up being like a older missionary couple, and they're like, well, it could go sell it to the investors, or we could sell it to this young couple or ever, and like, we want to sell it to them. And like, we lucked out or ever on that. But I mean, people desire connection, and people value connection, and people value trust, and and we talked about earlier, people are imperfect, right? But that's part of what makes us humans and connect, and we find that valuable versus this like, I got to put on a perfect facade, right? I got to be me, and people work with me from that. And that's pretty fun, right? When people get to work with you, because they love Kristie, and they love seeing Dove, and they're like, hey, listen, I want you protecting my family. I can go just answer a random phone call from an agent, or I can go to Kristie and work with someone I already feel like I know, but right. So I love that. And it's been a 4-year journey. So 4 years in the business, 4 years, sure, both feels like time's flown, and also feels like, man, it's 4 years, right? What do you feel like changed the most since day one over those 4 years and into now?
I would really say that on the marketing side, I would say that video has exploded, on the market, as far as people being able to create their own content. And I feel like me as a person, I've changed, a ton too. I've grown a lot, in these several years. But I think that the biggest thing for me is knowing that I can reach so many people so easily now. And that gives me more confidence in my career than I've ever had before. Now that I'm doing these reels, they're so fun. And then I went from no Facebook, nothing at all. And ChatGPT and me, we're homies. You know, we do stuff together all the time. It's a blast. Like, she creates so much content for me, and I cannot believe me as the person who would not put my children's face on Facebook. You know, I just didn't want to do that. And now I'm using, you know, AI. How fancy am I? How I feel.
So you said she. Does your ChatGPT have a name?
Yeah, her name is Ace.
I love it. I
let her pick. She picked it.
Pick your own name. Like, oh, okay,
yeah.
I'm Ace.
Well, she picked one for me. You know, she picked Kristie Hubbard Queen. Yeah. Yeah, she said I needed a better tag. I needed something that people would remember more. So I went with Kristie Coverage Queen. And I said, well, you need a name too. And my kids think it's so funny. We come in here and ask her questions. And I mean, but in all honesty, AI has done a huge amount for my business. The stuff that she puts together is just...
as far as like content?
Yes. Like memes and posts, and something I have the most engagement on. And, you know, I just talk to her. I tell her who I am. Like, I told her, you know, I need a Facebook post. I need to get some engagement, but I want to be authentic. And I don't want people to think that I'm, you know, in a high rise, you know, somewhere, you know, in a suit and tie. Like, I just want to be real. And so one of the ones that she put together for me was, people ask me every day, what do you sell? I'll tell you what I don't sell. I don't sell fancy overpriced insurance full of coverages that you don't need or don't even know what it is. I sell to regular blue collar people, you know, people in the rural country areas. I sell to people in Oklahoma, Texas, Colorado, wherever, you know, this small state. And I sell to real people. I sell to people who build our communities. I sell to people who, you know, fix our roads. Like, these are the people that I want to help, because that's the kind of person that I am. That's my family. My husband's a landscaper. You know, that's what he does. And watching social media with his business. And I mean, I'll say it's the stuff I learned, you know, here that have built that business, and it works in any avenue. It's not just insurance. It's not just insurance. It's just the whole social media platform in general.
And you talked about having fun with it and enjoying it, right? Like, which is a little different than how most agents describe, like, you know, cold calling and calling leads, right? I haven't had too many come to me and be like, listen, I have so much fun. Cold calling is so much fun. Woo-hoo! Calling leads, like, it's a good time. Like, you know, I'm just like, I got some spare time on the weekend. I'm going to cold call some people and have a great But no, it's not usually high up on that list, but getting to have fun with the content, getting to see you have fun, and that does come across, the authenticity. Like, if I'm having fun, it comes across in my content, and my audience is like, man, Kristie seems amazing. Like who gets to have an insurance agent that's like a fun agent versus like the suit and tie, like, you know, classical salesperson, right? So I was going to ask a little bit on that social and video, you know, content playing a role in that growth. And it kind of makes me think, like, did your coaches, you know, and trainers, you know, make you do anything in particular? Did they have you, like, challenge you or kind of make you do maybe like a certain amount of videos and a certain amount of days or anything?
Sandra Gebhardt. She's the one that caught me. She got me that day. I was broke. Okay. I was so broke. I had a baby. I took 7 days off. That was it. And while she's strapped to my chest, while I'm in a closers click meeting, my coach just says, hey, I think it's time for you to do your 60 and 60. You should start it today. What? Dude, what? You want me to put videos out? You want me to do a video every day for 60 days? You want me to sell policies and share the information? And I'm trying to feed. I have to work because I don't have any other choice at this moment, but I am not in the best position to be doing this, you know. But it worked. It really worked, because I think it came across that I was regular and a new mom and a new career. And I was vulnerable enough to let people know what I was doing. And I told people I needed their help rather than trying to put on a big show like I knew what I was doing. I just told people, like, hey, I'm in this group. It's called the Closers Clique. I have these success coaches. And, I vowed to do what they say because I believe in their program, but this is what they said I have to do now. And so I need y'all's help to help me do it, because I didn't know what to do my videos on. I didn't know, when to post them, where to post them, what time to post them, like what kind of look I should have, if I need to be at my desk, if I can, do it, at the grocery store. Like I really had no clue how to go about this, but they did. We did 60 videos in 60 days. And that's how I got that premium. Like that's how I got up there that fast. That's how I sold 40K, through video, just 3 or 4 months in.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there gave me so much confidence in myself. And then the paycheck, man, I'll tell you, and you get a good paycheck, and your first good paycheck in a long time, it puts a fire up underneath you, and you feel on top of the world. I thought, okay, I've done it. This is it. I got this. No problems. Okay. Now I've definitely had downtime since then, but at that moment there were never going to be any more challenges. I had mastered it.
It's a confidence booster and builder. And like people don't like to be sold, but they like to help people. It's like, help me. My crazy coaches are making me do these videos and challenging me to, I need to do this. Like, I need to do some quotes, like give me a call and, Dove says, help me or whatever. So
right. And I had somebody tell me that early on, leverage that baby. People want to see her.
Dove is cute, okay, and so Dove was a great helper. So yeah, and I hear is overly eager to help today. Of like bust through the door. I wouldn't be surprised she comes running in and like.
I know she's taking a nap right now, so if y'all know she comes when she comes, and we can't stop her. She knows y'all too, so.
Yeah, I love Dove, and I remember all the bows that she would wear.
All of the bows. Yesterday we were at the swimming pool, and her bow came out. She couldn't have it. She had to have it back in.
Gotta have your accessories, right? So, and you talked about like memes, reels, DMs, and everything. Like, what's your process look like today? Like, as far as social and what you're doing, do you have like kind of a standard process, or what you're doing, or kind of what you're feeling at the moment, or what pops up?
So right now I've been using a lot of AI.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, to this point, guys, I have not paid for any of it. Okay. So there you go. You can do it. You can try it. You can figure out if it's something that you like. I haven't paid for anything. I don't. That is a big part of it, is the AI asking for suggestions on like calls to action is really great. But so I've been using AI to create a lot of content, but then I've also just been doing the reels. The reels have came on, and they have been crazy easy to do and to make. And you put a new song with it. Like, okay, videos are not perfect. Let me tell you why. I did a video the other day, and I had ChatGPT involved in this too. I was like, what can I do? Like a cute, because I wanted to have some kind of movement and animation and look what I was doing. So I did a video where I was like looking down, and I was trying to think like, oh man, my heart breaks when I see these people paying $300 a month for car insurance, when I could be, helping them, my rate may be $220 a month. And it just breaks my heart not to see these people save money. But what are you going to do? Because nobody wants to pick up the phone. Nobody wants to call them. Nobody wants to send a DM. And so since it was about auto insurance, and my daughter had just shown me this Tate McRae song.
Sports car?
It's something about a sports car. Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea who Tate is.
Sports car. She's not.
But it's a great song for the post, right?
I didn't know that, but it was a new song. I put it on there. I embarrassed myself and my daughter, and I got it out there. But it got a lot of circulation because I used a hip song, So there's so many different things you can use to.
It was strategic, okay? It was marketing mastermind, right? Like, okay,
yes, I just heard
kind of talking about a car, yeah.
A sports car, but. Nobody's perfect. The internet's not perfect. That you don't have to be perfect to do this.
No.
Now, if you think it's easy, you're wrong. This is not for the faint at heart. This is not an easy career. It
But
is
nothing
a
worth it is easy, right? Like what
That's
out
what they
there
say.
is worth it that's easy, right? Nothing. So
That's what they say. But you know,
marriage, kids, business, like, none of it's easy, but it's the most important things in our lives, right? So
it is. It's just stuff we got to do. But yeah, it definitely isn't. It isn't easy. But with the amount of rejection that you get in this
mm,
industry and the amount of competition that there is, you got to find
mhm.
friends, y'all. Find some insurance friends that aren't in your office. Find some people you can connect with, that are going through the same things, because it takes having somebody to bounce things off of, because you don't always know if you're right, and you are in a very, very serious business.
Mm.
It is all the people, places, and things that you love. And like I always say, you don't have to be a millionaire to get sued like one. Happens every day. It's very, very real.
It is. It is. People gotta protect themselves, but also they don't know what they need, right? And so that's where having agents is so important, to make sure they do know replacement cost value. They do know,
Right.
having proper coverage. They told me I had full coverage. Okay, that's not a real thing. Like, what do you actually have? But and that's okay, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, you're right. What you're doing is so important. We're not selling ice cream cones or widgets. Like, you're protecting the most important things in people's lives, and that's really, really incredible. And with that, like, you talked about, like, this being a challenging business, and yeah, rejection and a lot of stuff. Now, what you found? You did appointment setting, before you hopped in. You've used social. Have you done like calling leads or cold calls before, or I guess when you were
Yeah.
appointment setting? Okay.
Yeah.
And between that and social, and people coming to you from social and stuff like that, what has more rejection, more maybe angry prospects, or like feels a little more
I
deflating? The
never
cold
get
calling and leads, or the social?
I never get cussed out on social just for reaching out to somebody.
So
you know,
agents, if you're worried about the rejection and being cussed out and stuff, like, maybe we lean a little more towards social and that side of people coming to you because they like you, want to work with you, than you know, people aren't as happy on answering the phone sometimes. So, but
it's rough. I mean, I still cold call. There's still times in my day where it's dead,
yeah,
where I get on and I'll call people, but there's always somebody. I mean, there's never a day that goes by that somebody doesn't reach out to me on social about
yes.
insurance.
Yeah, and they tend to be nicer on social. It's on the phone. So people be rude sometimes. I don't know. It's like, listen, I'm just calling, trying to help you save money. I don't
Yeah.
know why you're so upset about it, but uh, so what's something that you wish agents understood about creating content or about social?
I wish that they understood that nobody is online looking for an insurance agent. Like,
Mm,
nobody does that. Nobody gets online and searches insurance content. That's not what this is about. But, you do have friends and you do
mm,
have family, and everybody's all scared and terrified to get out there because they don't want to be salesy, you know. Well, you're in sales, and that's just part of your job. And I don't think that anybody ever woke up one morning and was like, "Ooh, insurance. I can't wait to go get an insurance agent today." Like, that's top of my list. I've been waiting on it. I've been saving up money. No, it's not how it works. Nobody's excited to buy insurance. Now, when they get to know you and they realize they can ask you questions and they can know more about their own policy and their own coverages, and I do property and casualty, so it's a little bit
mm,
different, from other lines of insurance. But then they get excited. They get excited because they know they're going to be taken care of in the event of a loss, or they get excited because they didn't know this coverage, was there. They get more excited when you find out that there's thrills and frills and all kinds of stuff on their policy that they absolutely don't need and will never be able to use, and you can, save them money on that. So there's joy in anything you want there to be joy in. Anybody can
mm,
find a sweet spot and happiness in life. It's about your disposition, not necessarily your position. It's how you feel. And I have fun with this every day. I absolutely do. I love getting to, people invite you into their home when you do
mm,
PNC, because the first thing I do is I'm talking to somebody and I look up their house, and I see where they live, where they stay, I know how fancy they're doing it. I know so many things about them, and that's another, just the internet. What, I don't know how anybody did insurance before the internet. I mean, that's so much paper and so much legwork and walking around and knocking doors. Like, we are lucky and blessed to be living in this time of insurance. There's a lot of competition out there, but people buy people. People don't buy products as much as in insurance. I've found.
Absolutely, 100%. And that goes to your point about like video being that way that they get to know me, they get to connect, they get to hear me, see me. Inviting them into my life a bit, along with what I'm able to talk to them about the business side, right? And so I guess kind of a combo question a little bit on like, how do you decide what to post to attract the right people? But also like with all this content you've done over the years, has there been a time of something you've posted that brought in unexpected business or referrals from something you've posted as well?
So many questions at once. The last one.
I know.
From
You pick whichever one you like.
That I didn't expect.
Anything that you posted something fun or interesting, like oh, I didn't know something was going to reach out about that, or any kind of unexpected like referral or policy or just connection out of it.
I get a lot of surprises at night. I wake up in the morning and people have been scrolling, while they're asleep, and they DM me in the middle of the night. And I think I like that because it gives people their own time, so I was definitely not expecting that. I was not expecting people to be up at 2 a.m. because they couldn't sleep, worried about their life, and then looking at insurance and finding me. I didn't expect to be able to market while I slept. That was a huge eye opener there. What was the first part of that question?
So I'm not the only person, at 2 a.m. scrolling and looking at insurance posts.
You're not.
Okay, cool. I'm not the only one there. I'm a bit of a night owl. So yeah, I'm on Facebook maybe at 2 a.m. for sure. So the other one was, how do you decide what to post to attract the right people? Like as far as what I talk about and how does that, get to my target audience? Yeah.
So everybody has to find their niche. They have to find the people that they want to sell to. So I decided to sell to people that are like me because I don't know any other people. I don't know any fancy people. I just know regular folks. And so whenever I post it got really confusing at first because I wasn't sure where I could post content that had anything to do with my business because I was kind of afraid to do that. But I looked at the people that were close to me. And then I would look in their groups and see, what they were doing and where they were at. And if I saw something, multiple times, I knew, it was trending. I post a lot in my mom's groups because that's where my head is heavy at. I'm raising 4 kids, 3 teenagers and a toddler. There's nothing that goes through my brain that's not, full mama mode. Like that's my lot in life right now. So, I don't have time to learn how to market to anybody else. I just got in and did what I thought I would want to hear from somebody. Things that I knew I needed to know because like I said, I was new at this. So I was learning as I was going through this. And there were things I was just flabbergasted at, absolutely. Things that I didn't know were real. So the moms groups did the most for me. But then, I post on all the buy sell trades for whatever, cities I'm in. And then, I was able to do this from at first I was in Tulsa. Now I'm, in a little bit of the southern Oklahoma, but I very rarely work in my own state. Houston, Dallas, those are the markets that I've been in the most. And being able to hop into those business owners groups to make referral partners, and then being able to hop into the groups of the moms, and then, the people who are out there buying, selling, trading. I mean, if you're buying, selling, trading cars, somebody's going to need insurance, so put yourself out there, let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it. I think that's a lot too. People know I do it to buy soccer cleats. And, my daughter's, going to be 16 soon. So I do it for these reasons. I don't do it because I'm building, multi-millions of wealth. One of these days I really might, that's the dream, but I'm just doing it to put food on the table, to have a living to where my daughter doesn't have to go to daycare and I can stay at home and take care of my family and cook a roast and get my laundry done. And these are my priorities, and that's okay. Most insurance agents are probably not worried about getting something in the crock pot at 7 a.m. but I am, and this works for me. And then telling people, those little things and those struggles. I posted before, and I was just browning a chuck roast. It was like 6:30 in the morning, and I was browning it, getting it ready to put in. Well, we get up at 4 at my house. We work really hard here. We work very hard here.
You're not on Facebook at 2 a.m. Yeah. So
no. I got to bed at like 8. 8 or 9. So I'm gone. Like the last night we were laying there, we were like, why is it so sunny? Like the sun will not go down. But we're just on a different time schedule here. But that got a ton of engagement. That posted. And people were asking, oh my God, why are you, up and doing this? And then I had people hop in that were like, hey, I feel that. And then, hey, what's that recipe? So I didn't expect that the content I put out would have so many different avenues to reach people. Even people I didn't intend it to. So I think that's been a huge plus for me, and something that I found that I really enjoyed and that was unexpected is that even whenever I just put out stuff about me and my family, I still get engagement, and I still get, new friends, and I do get business from that too, because people see you up working hard in the morning.
That's right. And it's like cheering you on, cheering you and the family on, right? It's a part of it.
Always.
And like people like to support people, right? Especially people they feel like they connect with.
I do.
And, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, I want to support people. I want to support people and people I know, right? That's the same reason people support like local businesses, like, someone I know, someone I interact with. Yeah, I'm going to support them versus some or, corporate entity I've never met someone personally from, right? So, and with the, in the industry itself ever kind of changing, just like we're, learning constantly and stuff there. But you had mentioned at one point the rise of like self-serve platforms, and like how do agents stay relevant in that shift, and with some of the rise of technology going forward.
For sure. And I definitely see this industry, kind of disappearing, kind of vanishing before my eyes. Even my own quoting platform, doesn't have as much freedom as it used to, because they want it to be, user friendly, and they don't rely as much on the agent. But then you get a policy, and then you get it written, and then underwriting comes back with something crazy, and people think that they can just do it by themselves. And it's not always like that. And just because you can buy it by yourself doesn't mean you protected yourself, because it doesn't mean you know what I know, because I'm very, very serious about my job. I may make goofy videos, and I may be a silly, funny person, but I'm super serious about protecting somebody's home. And with the rise in digital, with people being able to get their own quotes, I have people who are doing their own quote online ask me questions. I have people who DM me while they're trying to quote themselves, and I can think of 3 off top, the 3 instances where they've been trying to quote their own selves online, and they just, don't know the answer to a question, or they don't know what choice is. And they reach out to me because I'm also on that same platform. And the way we get leads now is different, because if it is like I know a lot of leads come through Facebook. So you see them there, and, they're not just on there for leads. Like, they're on there, they clicked on something, they looked at it, but then you're on the same platform that they're already searching. And I tell people to find me on Facebook. I really do. I put it in my signature, because I want people that are calling in that didn't get me from social. I want them to see my social, because I want them to know who I am, and I want them to be able to trust me like the people on social can. So even my 9-to-5 business that comes from, my corporate office, that gives me an edge. That still gives me another edge over somebody else that they don't know. And it has brought me into a whole different world as far as the career path I saw for my life going forward in 2020.
I love that. And with it, like, I know you've brought up and talked about, some of the mom groups you're part of, and then also mompreneurs, entrepreneurial mothers as well, like yourself. And so I kind of want to, go, like, I know would love to have you back, love to talk more, but as far as today, kind of final question a little bit, for what would you tell the mom who feels overwhelmed by this business, and maybe similarly hopping into this industry, this opportunity, balancing work and the kids? Like, what would you say to them, maybe, as far as piece of advice?
Listen, everybody's been born. Everybody has a kid or was a kid. Okay. Everybody knows what real life is all about. And please do not let your messy situation keep you from being able to get the finances and the flexibility and the freedom that you need to raise that little family. Don't be so embarrassed at your present circumstance that you don't do something better. And I think that's kind of where I was, at that point in life. I was like, I didn't go to college. All my friends went to college. I'm not sure where I'm going to go from here. I was a hairdresser, and then I got really bad arthritis and I had to choose a new career path. And it was not what I necessarily picked, but it was absolutely what was meant for me. And I went down this road blind, but there were so many other women out there willing to hold my hand, once I got out here. So if you're a mom and you're at home and you have babies running around and you have to find a way to take care of them and still be there for them and provide for them, this was a great option for me. And I have had several women who have said, hey, I want to do this. How did you do it? And I have walked them through, the way that I went through it. And they are doing great, you guys. Anybody can do this. Anybody can. They're doing great on social, and they do great with their jobs, and their kids are thriving, and they still get to be at home, and they still get to be present, and they still get to wear sweatpants and be comfortable. And, you really can build a whole career from your bedroom. And if you don't believe it, talk to me, because I'll tell you how. I am amazed that this has happened, and I am so thankful that it has happened. And people say, don't share your secrets. Psh, I want everybody to know there is room out here for everybody. Competition is a great thing. It drives us, but there's no competing if you just want everybody to win. I mean, it's you against the world. And I found such a good community, with TCC. And then I found such a good community online and with Allstate. And I have just been so incredibly blessed through my career. And I just want to share that. I just want other people to be able to find a career where they can still raise their family, stay at home, make an honest living, and not work, 80 hours a week.
I love it. Thank you so much, Kristie, for joining us, for sharing. We appreciate you so much. We're so thankful to have you. It's part of the Closers Click to watch just the beginning of the journey and more just amazing things to come as a part of that. And thank you for sharing. Yes, fully believe collaboration over competition, right? Like, we're here to help and ultimately through what you guys are doing, helping so many insureds protect the most important things of their lives as well. So Kristie, for those that want to follow you, plug in what you're doing, connect, watch these awesome videos you're making, where can they go check them out?
Please copy my videos. Copy it. Take my content. Use it yourself. Make it your own. I'm on Facebook, and I'm only on Facebook. And I don't have any other platform, and I did it all from right here. So follow me. I'm Kristie Hubbard on Facebook, and you'll see me and my husband and my family and my kids and all my insurance friends. And yeah, I'm here on Facebook all day long.
Awesome, guys. And we'll include that link as well as the show notes and everything for you guys. If you go to jumpstartgonow.com/podcast, we got it all for you. Kristie, thank you so much. So excited for the journey and where it's headed as well, and look forward to seeing more of those videos. And thank you guys so much for joining us and listening on the Modern Insurance Agent podcast. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye, y'all.